Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Word to create a full sentence outline for the speech class. As you know from reading the material in Canvas, your full sentence outline is your master copy. It is your final draft of your speech. You've already created a rough draft by creating your performance brief packet. Now you're going to expand upon the information that you put in your performance brief packet by creating the full sentence outline. As you can see on this new document, I've already started to list myself as the speaker, my topic as how to tie-dye a shirt, the block of the class that I'm enrolled in, 1B, and for the purposes of this video example, let's say that the date that I am writing this full sentence outline is December 7th, 2020. In a full sentence outline, we start by going right into the speech, and we use the format with Roman numerals, capital letters, numbers, lowercase letters, and so on. So for this full sentence outline, I'm going to start by creating a capital Roman numeral 1. And I do that by doing a capital I, period. And as soon as I hit the space button, Microsoft Word recognizes that I'm trying to create an outline. You can see that they've already set up this numbering, and they have formatted with the Roman numeral. One of the things that I'm going to do to give myself the most amount of space while I'm writing is I'm going to actually adjust the indent by moving this box on my ruler. If you don't have the ruler visible, you can go to View at the very top of Microsoft Word's menu, and you can check mark Ruler in order to make it visible to you. So I'm going to click and hold down on this box and slide over just a couple of notches, and that is going to move my Roman numeral 1 and my indent space over just a few notches. That gives me the most amount of room as I'm going to type out or copy and paste information. Since I've already done my rough draft in my performance brief packet, and I've chosen a rhetorical question as my attention gaining device, I'm going to go into my performance brief packet and scroll down to the page that has the introduction. Here, I've already typed out my rhetorical question. So I'm going to highlight that, copy it, come back to my full sentence outline in progress, and paste into this document. Now that I have my rhetorical question, I'm going to hit the return key. Microsoft Word thinks that I want another Roman numeral, but in actuality, what I want is a capital letter because I am within the paragraph that contains my introduction. You can actually go and see this same kind of format here in the performance brief packet. I set up the Roman numeral for my introduction, and then I have a capital letter A for my statement of purpose. In order to get that for my full sentence outline, I'm going to hit the Tab button, and now Microsoft Word thinks that I want a lowercase a. But I actually want a capital letter A. So I'm going to click on that lowercase a, make a capital letter A with a period and then space. Here again, it recognizes that I'm doing a numbering system for an outline. But it's a little bit off. I want this to line up exactly underneath the start of my first sentence. So I clicked and dragged the left indent box over just a few notches in order to make it line up. Now I am ready to go back to my performance brief packet, highlight and copy my statement of purpose or my thesis, come back to my full sentence outline, and paste. You can see what happens in Microsoft Word is that it automatically aligns the words underneath its appropriate spot. Now when I hit the return key, it gives me a capital letter B because it recognizes that's the next format for this particular process. As you go to your performance brief packet, highlight, copy, and paste, you also want to make sure, because it's a little tricky in Microsoft Word, that you only highlight up to the end of the period, and you don't get that little extra bit that's empty space after the sentence. You only want the amount of space of the things that are going to be copied over. If you don't do it that way, it's going to bring up something a little bit goofy in Microsoft Word. And I'll show you what that looks like here with this last one. If I took all of it plus the little extra space and I copied, then I pasted, see how it did something really goofy there and it rearranged everything? That's not what I want. So I'm going to undo that. I'll come back to my performance brief packet and I will highlight just the amount of information that I need. A little bit. Copy that and paste it in my full sentence outline. When I do it properly, it lines everything up exactly how I want it. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. In my performance brief packet, for the body of my speech, in my demonstration speech, I know I need to come back to a Roman numeral 2. But when I hit the return key, Microsoft Word thinks that I want a capital letter D. Now that I actually want to go to a Roman numeral 2, I'm going to hit the delete key twice and a third time to get me back to the very edge of my margins. Now I'm going to make 2 capital letter I's, a period, hit the space bar, and you'll notice that it indented over. So I want to drag this box back in line and come up with my next sentence, that is the transition sentence into the body of my speech. Again, when I hit the return key, Microsoft Word thinks that I want to do a Roman numeral 3, but I tab over, take the lowercase a and make it a capital letter A, period, and space. Then I'm going to drag this over so it aligns where it's supposed to be. Come back to my full sentence or my performance brief packet, copy the step 1 that I have written out, paste it into my full sentence outline. Since this is my full sentence outline, at this point, I want to actually gather more information. I want to share more details. If I hit the return key, Microsoft Word thinks that I want a capital letter B. But what I actually want is a number 1, and I'm going to drag this to align underneath the T of my first step in the process. Perhaps in this sentence that is a more specific detail, I'm going to explain the things that are the materials needed for this process. So you can see I've gotten more specific about the things that I will need, the materials for the process that I'm going to explain. I can even get more specific by tabbing over, and now I actually do want the lowercase letter, dragging that to the appropriate position, and perhaps I'm going to talk about the different kinds of fabric dye. Once I have those specific details, again, I'm going to hit the return key, hit the delete key, then I'm going to make my capital letter B with a period. As soon as I hit a space, Microsoft Word recognizes that I want to do an outline format, but I also have to drag it back to the place where it needs to be. And I continue the process of going back to my performance brief packet, copying the information that I've already provided, pasting it into my full sentence outline, and adding details when appropriate. An important thing to note when you try to drag your alignment, you want to make sure that you are clicked on the box and not the caret, because clicking on the caret is actually only going to move that caret. If you click on the box, it will move both your numbering and the indent caret itself. So that's the process that you're going to use to create your full sentence outline in Microsoft Word. As soon as you have this prepared, you're going to save that document. So the first time you'll go to Save As. Then perhaps on your desktop you have a folder for speech class, and you are going to save it as your demo speech full sentence outline. Click Save, and then you're ready to upload that document as your assignment submission.